So I'm going to demonstrate how you turn off the filter if some disaster happens, and how to depressurize the system so that you can work, investigate what the problem is. I wouldn't have thought that this would be necessary, but unfortunately, the other day we had a problem with the UV sterilizer where we noticed that it was dripping, and so in the end we had to basically take it out in order to repair it. And I thought that since that's only just happened and we haven't reinstalled it yet, I would start out by giving a little tour of the pump and how to turn it off and how to basically take the pressure off of it so that you can investigate a problem, and if there was a leak, obviously you could at least get the leak stopped while you were trying to figure out what was going on. So it's this is a big canister filter. It's currently sitting in a little plastic tray here. The idea is that if this was going to start to leak, at least as long as it was a minor leak, we would be able to, this would contain it. The first thing that's necessary is to unplug the filter, the heater, and the UV. So this is the filter plug. So I'm going to unplug this and show you that it says filter. We have these little labels on here, and that will let you know what plug connects to what piece of equipment. So I can put that aside, and the heater is actually in this little excess here. Again, it says, the blue label says heater. Unplug that. So now we've turned off the filter, the heater is off. The next thing that you have to do in an emergency is you need some kind of a plastic tub for as a catch basin for the water when it drains out. So the way you do this is there's a lever here. Currently that's at full flow. What you want to do is turn that off, and that's going to turn off. It's like a valve that will shut off the tubes here. Then you can press this red button, and it will pop out.
Flashlight. Give me the flashlight. I'm going to try to provide a bit of lighting for this.
Sorry. Let me. All right. So.
Here. Give me the flashlight.
Okay. So this is the clip, and so now at this point the tank is disconnected. But let me just set this in here for the moment, and I'm going to pick up the canister filter and just take it out of the enclosure. So it is heavy.
You usually slide the tray out.
It may leak a little bit. If you can take this tray with it, if there was any leakage or water, take it with it. Try to support the weight so that the tray doesn't crack. Okay, so now we have taken the filter out. Let me get the filter power cord, and let's just sort of look at what's left in here. So at the moment we have a green dyed filter tube. That's the input, and the more clear one is the going back into the tank. And in order to take the pressure off the system, there are a couple of plugs at the top of the tank that have to be opened up. So we're gonna do that first, and we're gonna go take a look at that. So Let me get over here. So this is the input side, and I'm going to open this up, and that's going to break the suction and allow the water to drain. So I've taken those off. I'm going to just set these down, and now I'm going to now that I've opened that up, I'll be able to turn this lever to drain the tubes. So as soon as I do this, that's going to let the water drain out.
I was sort of washing out that action.
Okay.
My light.
Well, so now the tubes are mostly drained. I say mostly because there are coils in the tubes where there may very well be, and quite likely there will be, water still in there. So don't necessarily assume that nothing is going to spill anymore, but most of the pressure is out, most of the water is drained, and you know, as long as you're kind of aware that there'll be little pockets of water inside some of the gear, you know, you won't make too much of a mess. So at this point, the system is off, and the canister is off, and we can now start investigating what the problem is. So the next section of the video is going to be actually opening up the canister filter, showing how that's done, and showing how you need to prepare it in order to get it ready to put back in service. Okay, so I'm just going to pick this up. It's heavy. If it's only just been emptied, it could slosh around and leak. So just keep it level and be gentle. And bring it over to the sink. And just set it right into the sink. And, okay. Get that out of the way. Okay, so the first thing you do basically what we're trying to do here is, in order to get the pump to easily restart, we need to dump a little bit of water out of it, and that's what we're doing here. So these clips, there's 4 of them, and there's one on each side, and I'm just going to unclip them all and spread them out, and now I'm going to lift up the top section, and there is some water in there, so I'm going to kind of tip it a little bit and let it drain. You know, I'm going to just get the water out of it, and I can just set it down. And there are several layers of filters here. I'm just going to remove this top layer and kind of let it spill into the canister.
Has nice little handles for grabbing. And
pay attention to this little triangle thing, because that needs to line up correctly in order to properly nest back together. I'm just going to set that down. And now we have the canister itself is now full of water, and I want to just dump some of that water out. And my goal is to just get it below the level so that the top of this, the next layer in the filtration is not in the water. And now I replace the top layer, and I replace the cover. Just make sure that it's set down nicely. You angle the clip, snap it shut. You have to play with it a little bit to get it to engage, but snap it shut. Snap it shut. Snap it shut. This is now ready to put back into service. Okay, so I'm going to put the canister in. We've kind of tried to position the UV filter in here as best we can without actually having the canister in place. So I have the canister in the little tray. I'm going to try to pick the whole thing up and start sliding it in. And I've got a little bit of things in the way here. I'm just going to have to struggle with this for a few minutes until I get everything in position. And I'm going to try to... Alright. I suppose the other thing I should mention is that we've also got a little blue foam pad underneath all of this so that there won't be so much vibration noise. And just kind of slide everything around. And this is the plug. We will eventually want that to go into the wall. And so the next thing is we're going to clip the input and output tubes back into the filter. And so in order to do that, you know, I have to close the connector, which we had when we opened it before so that it would drain. Now we have to close it in order to clip it back in position. So we clip back in position and turn the flow back on. So we're about to try to start getting the pump back up. We've gotten everything kind of organized. Remember the, well anyway, I don't have to go over that again. So in order to get the pump started, there is a button here that is a little bit hidden away. It's under those tubes. So the flow has to be open, and then what I'm going to do is try to get my thumbs under this and give several pumps of this button, which should, you know, start the flow a little bit, and then I'm going to plug in the pump, and we're going to hope that the flow starts. This has sometimes been a problem in the past. We'll all find out together. The other thing that we will find out together is whether the UV is actually going to leak or not. Let's hope that it doesn't leak. Here we go.
Oh, we didn't put
all right.
Forgot a step.
We forgot a step. There are these two caps. The caps have got to go back on in order to seal the tubes. Okay. Let's try this again. Back under here. Get my thumbs on the button. Alright, I can hear a little motion. I'm now going to plug it in.
It's sounding good.
No immediate leaks.
And it started up.
I don't feel any leaking.
David's checking for leaks.
Alright.